Have you seen these funny little gnome guys around town? I've been seeing them all over the place on Pinterest and Hobby Lobby. They're cute and they're so easy to draw. Today I'm going to show you how. I'm going to show you how to draw all three like this. I drew this little fat guy by himself just to give you an idea of how you could color him. All right, let's get started. I'm going to turn my paper sideways. I have my handy dandy sketchbook. I'm going to use a mechanical pencil. It's easier to erase, but you can use whatever you have handy. The first thing I'm going to do is decide where all of their noses are going to be. So if I'm going to draw the three guys across the page, I want to make sure there's room for their hats at the top of the page all the way down to their bodies, okay? So in the very middle of my sideways page, I'm going to draw the first nose. And I'm going to draw lightly. It's kind of an oval. And then I'm going to draw my other guy next to him and this guy over here. I'm going to draw very lightly because I'm going to go over this whole thing with Sharpie and erase. So the fun thing about drawing three little Santa gnomes is that you can give them different personalities. So this first guy, what I'm going to do with their hats is I'm going to go over the top of their nose and then down a little bit like this. And then just make their hats. They can all be all different shapes. They can have a little pom-pom on the top, a little ball on the end. It's up to you. You can give him a big old mustache like this. No eyeballs, which makes it easy. Then wherever his hat ends, I'm going to let his beard come down like this. I made his mustache crooked. Oh well. Then he's going to have a jaggedy beard. Make sure it's longer in the middle. And then we're going to give him a little body that's flat along the bottom. Sometimes we show their feet poking out. We're going to keep this one really simple. So there you go. We want to make sure that both sides are the same. See how I have two lines here? I'm going to pick the one I want when I go over this whole thing with my Sharpie. So don't even worry about it. You don't even need to erase right now. Okay, my second guy, he's going to be a little skinnier. He's going to have his hat over the top of his nose and poking out right here. His hat's going to be bumpy and skinny. And he's going to have a bigger, fatter mustache. Then I'm going to go from his hat down, make him have a beard. Let's make his beard skinnier and pointier. Once you get the hang of drawing these little gnomes, you're going to want to draw a bunch of them, give them different personalities. They'd be cute on Christmas cards or decorations. Make sure their bottom half is a little flat along the bottom like this so that they look like they could sit on the ground. If you want to give them feet, this is what they would look like. Basically, just like their nose shape right here. Let's go ahead and do that. I kind of like that. Notice that this shape goes right over the top. We're not even going to bother to erase this right now because we know when we trace with Sharpie, we're not going to draw that because the feet are in the front of the body. Okay, and then this guy, let's see. We're going to make his hat go down. These gnomes need to get better fitting hats. We'll make his hat curl this way. He's got a really big hat. We'll make his mustache hang down. He's the grouchy guy in the bunch. Make him have a jaggedy big old mustache. Let's see. And I'll put a pom-pom on his hat. Notice I'm drawing really lightly, so even when I change my mind, I'm just going to leave those lines there, but they're going to be very easy to erase. Okay, let's give him a beard. They're all different shapes, but they always kind of are jaggedy toward the middle. And I'll make him kind of chubbier. But they're all going to be about the same standing on the same floor, and we'll give him his feet. All right, let's see. I'm gonna put hearts on his hat. I'll show you a little trick with this. If I run into a thing where the heart is bumping off the edge, I'm just gonna draw half of it. I might have one here where it just ends like this. Art is fun, so don't stress out. If you don't like where it is, we have the power to do what we want. Okay, and then let's make his hat striped since we made all these bumps along the edge. Watch, gonna make sure that the stripes along the bottom are fatter and then they get skinnier and skinnier and skinnier. And then when they come around the edge here, they get very skinny. Oh, I forgot to put a ball on the end. And then we'll make this guy have a polka dot hat. You come up with whatever designs you like. You can practice shading, you can color them, you can paint them. Whenever polka dot comes to the edge, we make sure. All right, here's the fun part. Now that you've drawn your gnomes, get your handy dandy Sharpie, and we can just choose what lines we like. We're gonna erase all the rest when we're finished. If I wanna make a change as I go along, if I want his mustache to be jaggedy, I can change my mind as I go along with my Sharpie. That's one reason I love using a marker over my pencil lines and then go back and erase what I don't like. Okay. His hat looks like the top of a cupcake. Make sure you don't go across the front of his feet. We want to draw his feet so they look like they're in the front. And then we're going to erase all of our pencil lines. If you drew something with your pencil that you don't like or you want to move something over, now's your chance. I don't like where that heart was, so I'm going to move it. If you feel more comfortable, you can erase and draw it with your pencil. All right, let's go over to this guy. The nice thing about using Sharpie is that you can watercolor your artwork. If you use regular markers, that's fine too. You'll have to color with colored pencil or crayon, but you won't be able to use watercolors or even use any water with your markers. Remember, we're not going to go through his feet. If you don't like the feet, you're welcome to change it. You can do whatever you want. All right, we got this skinny little happy guy. I like his big fat mustache. Reminds me of our cupcakes. That's how we learned how to draw. There's all kinds of fun little designs you can put on your gnomes. You can design their clothes. You could make them wearing their pajamas or a Santa suit. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is get my white eraser, which I highly recommend. I like the big fat office white ones, but those are over at school, so we're just going to use this. And I always try to erase just on the pencil lines that I'm trying to erase. I try not to just erase my whole paper. I try to almost draw with my eraser and go over all the pencil lines that I want to erase without erasing places that don't have anything I need to erase. Also, you'll notice that I hold it straight up and down. I don't hold an eraser like a pencil. I try to hold it straight up and down. And I steer over all the pencil lines that I want to erase. And when I draw nice and lightly, it's no problem. They erase easily. So I've made my own coloring page. If you draw one that you really, really love and you want to try different color combinations, you could ask your parents if they'll make a copy. And then you could create your own coloring book and let other people in your family or your friends try coloring your designs and see what they come up with. There you go. 3 happy little Christmas, gnomes. Have fun.